In the quiet suburb of Ravenswood, nestled between towering trees and shadows that seemed to stretch infinitely, lived young Emily. Her parents had left for a weekend getaway, leaving her alone in the creaky old house. Emily, usually independent and self-assured, felt a sense of unease settle over her as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the neighborhood into darkness. The first night began innocently enough. Emily, seeking solace in her favorite pastime, settled into the living room with a book. The air felt heavy, and every sound echoed louder in the empty house. As the grandfather clock struck midnight, a sudden chill swept through the room, causing her to shiver involuntarily. Ignoring the eerie feeling, Emily tried to focus on her book, but strange noises permeated the silence. Soft footsteps echoed in distant corners of the house, and the floorboards groaned under an unseen weight. She dismissed it as her imagination, blaming the shadows for playing tricks on her restless mind. As the night deepened, Emily decided to retire to her bedroom. The hallway seemed to stretch unnaturally, and the darkness clung to the walls like a sentient force. Once in her room, Emily closed the door, seeking comfort in the illusion of safety. Yet, the unsettling sensation persisted, as if unseen eyes watched her every move. Unable to shake off her unease, Emily attempted to distract herself with music. The soft melody of her favorite playlist filled the room, but beneath it, a faint whisper lingered, a spectral murmur that sent shivers down her spine. Panic crept in as she strained to discern the whispered words that seemed to materialize from the very walls. The second night brought a storm that rattled the windows and echoed the turmoil within Emily's racing heart. Lightning illuminated the surroundings, casting eerie shadows that danced across the walls. In the intermittent darkness, Emily glimpsed fleeting figures, silhouettes that seemed to drift through the rooms, leaving an ethereal presence in their wake. Attempting to rationalize the occurrences, Emily convinced herself that it was merely a byproduct of her solitude. She clung to the belief that the mind could conjure up the supernatural in moments of vulnerability. Yet, as she lay in bed, the tempest outside mirrored the tempest within, amplifying the feeling that she was not alone. The third night descended, bringing with it a suffocating sense of dread. Emily, now weary and sleep-deprived, questioned her sanity. The house seemed to breathe, an ominous rhythm that echoed through the walls. The once familiar rooms now concealed unseen terrors, and the shadows morphed into sinister shapes that lurked in corners. Desperation gripped Emily as she fumbled for the phone to call her parents. But to her dismay, the line remained silent, a cruel reminder of her isolation. Determined to escape the oppressive atmosphere, she ventured into the basement, where an ancient secret door beckoned. With trepidation, she pushed it open, revealing a hidden chamber that whispered of forgotten tales. Within the dimly lit chamber, Emily discovered an old journal, its pages filled with the writings of a previous occupant. The entries spoke of a malevolent force that dwelled within the house, feeding on the fear of those who dared to reside there alone. As she read, a realization dawned. The inexplicable occurrences were not products of her imagination but manifestations of a sinister entity that had claimed the house as its own. Panicked and determined, Emily sought a way to banish the malevolence. Armed with newfound knowledge, she embarked on a ritual detailed in the journal, an ancient rite to ward off the spectral intruder. The night wore on as Emily recited incantations and lit candles, the air thick with tension. As the ritual reached its crescendo, the house seemed to recoil, resisting the force that sought to expel the malevolent presence. Yet, Emily pressed on, her determination unwavering. Suddenly, a blinding light enveloped the room, dispelling the darkness that clung to the walls. When Emily awoke the next morning, sunlight bathed the house in a warm glow. The air felt lighter, and the oppressive atmosphere had dissipated. The malevolent force that once haunted the halls had been vanquished. The once cursed house now stood silent and still, as if exhaling a sigh of relief. Though scarred by the ordeal, Emily emerged stronger, having faced a darkness that most could not fathom. Her parents returned, oblivious to the supernatural events that transpired in their absence. Emily, however, carried the weight of the secret, forever changed by the nights she spent home alone in the haunted house on Ravenswood Street.